how's it going, everyone? It is Skullzi here with the latest and the greatest gaming news. Today I'm going to finally cover something that I have been trying to figure out how to talk about for about a week now, because about a week ago I got a tip from an inside source regarding the release date and announcement date for Grand Theft Auto 6. I almost didn't want to cover this leak, but given the recent confirmation that Grand Theft Auto 6 is in early development, I figured I would present this information to you all while being completely transparent about its origins and credibility. After all, I get plenty of supposed leaks like this, most of which I don't report on because unless I can somehow verify its validity, I don't want to waste your time and disrespect the community with some bullshit. Look at how all of that worked out for Mr. Boss Fuck the World, after all. Who now wears that name like it's some sort of trophy? I don't think he understands how that situation actually works, but we'll just let the guy put on the dunce cap and think it's some kind of trophy if that's what they want to do. Anyway, let's move on. So let's start from the most start out of all of the starts, the beginning. On April 7th, I received a tip from a completely new source, like I said, regarding Grand Theft Auto 6. They claimed that the game was in development and has been for longer than you may think. On top of all this, they claimed that the current projected announcement year is 2021, with the planned release date taking place the following year in 2022. Now this caught me off guard for two reasons, one of which is this leak is from somebody who hasn't reached out to me with information like this before, ever, and the second is when I asked for verification, they actually provided some stuff that led some pretty solid credibility to their claims. Of course, like you might expect, they asked that I do not share any of this evidence or give any information that could lead back to who they are, allowing me to basically only tell you the two dates I mentioned earlier. And that is exactly why I haven't done a video on this leak until now, because if I don't have enough shareable evidence to show you all, then I don't want to waste your time or make you think I am just trying to make stuff up for views like that other channel I mentioned earlier. That is until one of two things happened. After receiving this leak, I reached out to a different inside source I have who has provided me correct information about Red Dead Redemption 2 before the game was released, most of this information ending up being true with video verification of all of this on my channel. Just go on to the search bar and type Skullzi Red Dead Redemption 2 and you'll find the video. But TL Doctor, this other source of mine is pretty reliable and seemingly in the know. I reached out to this other source, like I said, and I asked them about this possible release date and announcement leak. It took them about a week to get back to me, saying that while they couldn't confirm nor deny these dates, they did suggest I at least do a video on this, as in their own words, Rockstar is currently working up towards something big in 2021, which was pretty huge for me to hear that, even more huge than this other leak, because I really trust this other source. And them saying something big is coming from Rockstar, or at least Rockstar is working towards something big internally that's gonna happen in 2021 one way or another, gets me hyped. And while it is normal for basically all inside sources like this to want to protect their identity, I still wanted to try to verify this information as much as possible before doing a video on this. So with all of this combined, it kinda leads me to believe that this other leak is pretty plausible. However, I still don't have anything that I can share with you all. No evidence, nothing. I can't share any information I was given to back up their claims, so because of this, I don't want any of you to take any of this information as anything near confirmed. Please, we need to consider this pure speculation as of right now unless we hear something direct from Rockstar Games. I don't want to mislead the hype, I don't want to start spreading false information, so consider this just speculation, regardless of the fact of any evidence I got privately that leads me to believe that this might be true. Now, I will say this though, I tweeted this out on April 9th stating that I got a possible Grand Theft Auto 6 leak, which is the one I am obviously talking about in today's video. Now this tweet was 2 days after I heard from that source on April 7th, and here recently, actually yesterday from the time I'm uploading this video, April 15th, it was basically confirmed that Grand Theft Auto 6 is in development. So this source approached me with this release date leak literally 1 week before the industry as a whole received confirmation that GTA 6 was in development. So with these two things combined, it does give some seemingly yet almost coincidental evidence to further support this release date and announcement year leak. And the release dates themselves do seem plausible. Although recent information is saying that GTA 6 is only in early development, I tend to not believe that, as Rockstar Games have said games were early in development in the past, only to then announce and release those said games within the next couple of years. Rockstar Games also tends to announce a game the year before it is released, although lately they tend to delay their games at least once. And on top of all this, next gen is just around the corner, releasing towards the end of 2020. So a Grand Theft Auto 6 2021 announcement and 2022 release date seems very plausible. Again, although I did get information that leads me to believe this is true, I was asked to not share it publicly, so because of this, please do not consider any of this confirmed information. Unless we hear direct from Rockstar Games, most of everything should just be considered speculation, these dates included, even though these dates do seem pretty valid given the context of the situation. Other plausible rumors surrounding Grand Theft Auto 6 place the setting of the game back in the 1980s with a massive map sprawling from Vice City and the Florida countryside and the swamps and wetlands all the way to the Caribbean and even Colombia, with the game's main story and gameplay surrounding around the cartels, mafia, and drug trafficking at the time. There are several other internal leaks that seem to coincide with this information, as well as direct statements from Rockstar Games indicating that they wouldn't want GTA 6 to be set in the current time period, as people are way too easily offended right now, and things are pretty crazy right now as it is. So long story short, according to the most plausible leaks surrounding the game, Grand Theft Auto 6 will be announced in 2021 and then released in 2022, with the game taking place in the 1980s with a massive map, or in my opinion, probably a few separate large maps that are then connected via loading screens, with these maps sprawling all the way from Florida to the Caribbean and down to Colombia. Remember, all of this information is not to be considered confirmed. This channel is not Mr. Boss Fuck the World. Take all of this with a grain of salt. However, if this was all true, I would be massively hyped. Grand Theft Auto has had a very strong place in my gaming history and library for many years now. I played Grand Theft Auto 1 and Grand Theft Auto 2. Grand Theft Auto 3 used to be a family event with us switching shifts, literally like watching each other play the game, and then after 8 hours someone else would play the game. We would be sitting around the TV eating cold leftover ham, playing Grand Theft Auto, just wasting time trying to ramp up onto the train, and just crazy cool stuff. So I love Grand Theft Auto. I like the direction it's been going lately, with more of a, I guess, somewhat realistic touch if you don't consider all the crap that's been going on in Grand Theft Auto Online. The single player is a good time, and if it has just the really immersive storytelling and cinematics and animations that Red Dead Redemption 2 has, I cannot wait for Grand Theft Auto 6. Hopefully they take a lot of the stuff from RDR2 and carry it over into GTA 6, and as far as the possible 1980s setting with South America and drug trafficking, that would be awesome. Grand Theft Auto Vice City was one of my favorite Grand Theft Autos, with the 80s being a pretty solid setting for a game of its time. I just wonder how they would work in all of the other extra immersion type things that they have had in Grand Theft Auto lately. Ever since GTA 4, they have like an in-game internet with plenty of websites and news things that you can read on, like news sites. The mobile phones have always been a major part in Grand Theft Auto games lately, and none of that would really be taking place in the 1980s. I don't think the internet really was anything like it is now back then, so maybe they would have a lot more TV content, and maybe there's newspapers. Either way, that's a video for a different time. Like I said, take all of this with a grain of salt, and as always, I want to hear what you have to say about all of this. Do you think any of these leaks are true? What do you think about this leak I got recently regarding the release date? Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and if your comment wins the internet and make it featured in a future video. If you enjoy the content, be sure to give the video a thumbs up, and if you didn't like the content, give it a thumbs down. If you want to stay in the know when it comes to the latest gaming news, be sure to subscribe and turn notifications on so you don't miss the latest uploads. Follow me over on Twitter for the latest breaking news. Come over to the official Skullzi Discord chat server, where there is always an awesome and active conversation and some speculation taking place. For some hype Skullzi merchandise, be sure to check out Loot Drop, where you can get a bullshit capacity meter t-shirt or coffee mug to let everyone know that your bullshit capacity meter is always running at 0%. And if you want to have your hand in providing future content and getting access to unique and awesome awards, then consider subscribing to the community over on Patreon or joining the channel here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. I am reworking some of these awards, including Patreon as a whole, but as always, links for all of these things are down in the description below, and as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time, when hopefully someone can send a pretty solid and credible Starfield leak my way. Ooh, just putting that out there. Starfield.
just works.